Time to start working on the cab corners. We're back on project gray today, and we're continuing the project. And we really want to get the rust done so I can get going on bodywork. So, first thing we got to do is, usually the inside on these 56s are rusted worse than what the outside is. And that's the case here. So of course, you just do your little cardboard template first. Go to here, and then we're going to bend it, get it fitting right before we cut the rust out. So that's my next task. Make sure I got her going the right way here. Okay, so I sandblasted this, and I'm just going to put the second coat of primer on here. We just want to make sure that everything is well protected. And then after this sets up, we've got some pits. Small ones. If they were big ones, I'd fill them up with weld, but we're just going to put a little bit of seam sealer on there, and wherever I welded, a little bit of seam sealer in case there's any pit or pinholes, and then that's going to be protected because the rust is coming from the inside. As long as we protect that from getting any water, not going to rust again. Okay, we've got some pits up here, so we just put a little bit of seam sealer. Now, I am avoiding as much as I can down here because I've actually got to do some welding. I don't need a fire. And then you just use a spatula, so you don't have to use your finger. Just like that. Alright, I put in some quality time here, getting this to fit good. Now I'm still I'm going to run my grinder along here once I get it kind of tacked into where I want it to go. But, if you buy a panel like this and expect it to fit, you're way off. It's not going to fit. In fact, this one here, I cut it off right at the edge. It would probably be 1/4 of an inch too short. And that's just what you have to expect from a panel. So it does pay to buy a little better quality panel, and you won't have to worry about that. But what is quality? I don't know. You buy it from a reputable firm and you hope it's good, but they never are that great. So expect to do some work. I had to do a little tuning down here, get it all different, put a different shape in it down here. We have to make a little cut here with a grinder to make that fit. But for the most part, pretty minor because we're still going with the factory edge over here. All right, let's tack her up. First thing I want to do, I want to drill a couple holes in here so I can do some plug welds. All right, that looks really good. I'm really happy with that. Now these panels here, sometimes they dip out just a little bit high right in here, but it's at the back, you're not gonna notice that. Looks good. It's all tacked up. I'm gonna weld her up tomorrow when I get the, other patch tacked up. And then just little by little, we'll weld her up. I like it. Time to weld her up. Now you put a lot of time into this, so don't go wheeling along with your welder and put a great big warp and everything. You don't need to have that happen. So a little bit at a time, and if you have to, it's get a little warm after a little while, use the air and cool it down, and you'll have a little more success. Now somehow I missed all the exciting grinding, and that's probably a good thing for you. So we're starting to fill now, but where my weld was, I used a fiberglass reinforced filler, fiber fill. And that's really good over a weld in case there's any little pinholes, because it's really good and waterproof. Once that's set up, just give her a good sand with some 40 grit, and now I'm on to the regular filler. And we're gonna sand that. We'll file it first, sand it with some 40 grit, but don't let it dry too long. You'll be working too hard. You can see how many dents there are. Like I said, that's why you pretty well have to skim the whole truck, because over the years they add up. Now I'm applying the spot glaze now, and it's a two-part component, of course. And this is going to even out all of our body work. I'm just putting a thin coat down, and then when it's still, you know, a little bit soft, I am going to hit it with 40 grit. And what that's going to do is just make it so much easier to sand later with 80, but it's going to straighten everything out. And if you can sand it while it's still a little bit soft, your life's going to be better. Well, we got the back, the bodywork's all done. I'm really happy, it turned out really, really good. So everything, the spot putty, the spot glaze is, it's all been sanded just roughly with 40 grit. That's gonna save you a pile of time and your bodywork's gonna be way, way straighter. So when it comes time for primer, we're gonna hit this, just finish it off with some 80 grit, and then we'll go to primer. All right, we're working on the front now, and when we get that done, we'll turn the, flip everything, get that roof done. It's got quite a bit of work to be done on it, so, but we can get her done. Not a big deal. All right, till next time, stay tuned. We're gonna keep working on this, and we're working on lots of things, so, you know, there's gonna be something coming up. Don't worry. All right. Thanks for tuning in.